I'm medicated a little.
It's all right.
Don't tell anybody.
I know nothing.
All right, Bob Riley with HIGHLIFE Magazine, HIGHLIFE Studio. I am here with Connie Woolsey from One Plant, one of the Florida's premium cannabis suppliers. I'm going to kind of jump right into it. I want to, we're doing our Florida Women in Cannabis, and we kind of want to know a little bit about the women that are working in cannabis. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, maybe where you went to school, where you live now, and are you a Florida native?
Sure. So I was born and raised here, so definitely a Florida native. My dad was in the Air Force, so I was actually born on the old Homestead Air Force Base before it got knocked out of there by Andrew. And I grew up here my entire life. I went to school locally in Coral Springs area, went to Broward College way back in the day. After school, I transitioned into becoming a 911 dispatcher for about 5 or so years, and met my husband and actually left Florida for a little bit. Tried out some other careers along the way, and we moved out of state for about 6 years, and I came back and kind of started over, trying to figure out what I want to do here, and got involved in some retail work, and kind of worked my way a little bit through some retail experiences, and built some really great careers, and had an opportunity to get involved in this, and just kind of put one foot in the door, and it took off like crazy, and so it's a really exciting time.
That's awesome. Do you support medical marijuana?
I absolutely do support medical marijuana.
How about adult use?
I do support adult use. I absolutely support both of them. I think there's a need and a space for both, in our country and in our state. I think marijuana provides great relief for people in a variety of aspects, and so I definitely stand behind both.
Why did you decide to start working in cannabis?
So I got familiar with cannabis probably 12, 13 years ago. My husband's a veteran, and he was injured and had a back surgery after getting out of the military. He was dealing with chronic pain. Surgery didn't go so well. There were some complications. That led down a path of pain pills and basically the cocktail of medications that the VA, put him on at the time, and he would get some side effects from one pill and go see the VA, and they would give him another, and so he, wound up at a certain point, taking somewhere between 15 to 20 pills a day, and it really made his quality of life suffer. He wasn't the same, person anymore. He was dealing with, a lot of things from the military, with PTSD and, chronic pain and depression and those type of things. And all these medications, were not working. And so we started looking into some more natural therapeutic opportunities for him. Discovered CBD, discovered marijuana, started looking into how different products, different strains could help give him some relief. And we started finding some things that actually worked for him. We started to slowly take him off of his medications. It took us several years to get him there. He's now completely pill-free for the first time in many years, and not perfect by any means, still has a lot of things to deal with, but is present and able to be present in life. I got my husband back, and so for me, cannabis really changed our lives, our family life. He was a better father, a better husband, and so I've been very passionate about it for many years because of that, trying to help other veterans. And the veteran community is is like a large family of people, and so just trying to help others with that same experience to find some real relief and some real solutions that work for them. When the medical program started in Florida and it became legal for medical marijuana, I just had this, how do I get involved in this? You know, how do I become some part of it? And started researching the different companies that started out here, started talking to different groups of people, started visiting the dispensaries, that type of thing, getting to know people. And a couple opportunities kind of got presented my way, and I was able to get my foot in the door. I kind of took a step back. But it was something I was so passionate about, and I wanted to help educate more and more people. So I was able to, you know, have that opportunity come my way, and I've been, you know, working hard, working my way up, and trying to make a difference, you know, every day.
When did you begin working in cannabis?
I started in cannabis. I officially got my start in probably the end of 2018. So about a couple years now in. Yeah, it'd be about 2 years this month.
What is your current job title?
So currently I am the director of retail for One Plant. And so that's been very exciting. I've had a great journey along my way, working my way up. Started with One Plant as a GM and was one of the first employees hired, you know, to help the company establish our call center, delivery, and our retail stores.
How did you get your start in cannabis?
I looked at a lot of opportunities and you know, interviewed with several companies and was able to take a position with a competitor of ours currently, and learned a lot in those first 6 months there. A day in the cannabis life is sort of like almost like a month in other industries. Everything is growing so rapidly, and it's an amazing experience. And so I had an opportunity to meet some people here with One Plant, and was able to make a change over here and take that next step, and it's been really awesome.
How has working in the cannabis industry changed your perspective on marijuana and hemp?
You know, I think one of the most important things is it's given me an avenue to speak with more people, a platform to interact with patients on the day-to-day, and then to develop teams that can help people and really get to know what their needs are. And I think that experience alone has just made a huge transformation in my life.
The cannabis industry is dominated by men. How has that affected you in the pursuit of your current job? Has it limited your ability for what you were able to do what you want to do, or has you being a woman given you the ability to approach cannabis from a different perspective?
You know, wouldn't necessarily say that it's limited me. I think the competition is fierce. You know, I open a job requisition up, and within a day I'll have 100, 200, 300, depending on the location of applications. So I think, you know, that's one of the toughest things about getting in, is that because there's so many applicants and so many people looking to get into the industry, it does have some challenges. Once I was able to actually secure that interview and get with someone face to face and be able to showcase my experience and my skill set, you know, everything was pretty straightforward for me. And I think if you're the right person for the job, and you have a little bit of that right timing, and you know, your resume can stand out a little bit against hundreds and sometimes thousands.
That little bit of magic.
That little bit of magic that happens. Yeah, I think that's something that is, I think, changing. You know, I think we're going to see more and more women in the industry. I know in my department here alone, several of my stores are managed by women. So, you know, I think women will continue growing within the industry as we continue, you know, breaking down the traditional stigmas around cannabis in the state. And even just the last 2 years of being involved in it here in Florida, I've seen tremendous strides and tremendous changes in our communities. And I hear stories every day about how someone that had that was so anti-marijuana that would never even consider it, maybe tried CBD for the first time. And sometimes you just need a little bit more education. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I think we'll continue to see, women coming into the space.
On a different note, do you have a medical marijuana card?
I do. I am a Florida medical marijuana patient.
And do you use medical marijuana yourself?
I do use it. I find a lot of great relief in that. Had several car accidents over the years. I work a pretty high stress job. There's a lot of things that it helps with, and I think it's a great product.
And what are your thoughts on hemp clothing?
I think it's great. I think anytime we could use a product like hemp in an industrial fashion, I've even looked into growing hemp myself, on some properties, and I think there's such a wide use for it, and I think it could really help change, the world, if it was really from a global perspective. And I think we'll start to see some of those changes as the hemp program is getting started here in Florida and other states as well. And I'm excited about the changes that we'll see.
I mean, hemp actually lasts 20 times longer than cotton and uses 50 times less water.
It's crazy that we're not using it.
Right? It doesn't make sense. Women tend to make most of the healthcare decisions in the home, yet we keep marketing to men. I call it the cannabis syndrome. In your opinion, what does the cannabis industry need to do to better market cannabis to women?
That's a really great question. I think marketing cannabis in general right now is very challenging, right? That's one of the biggest things, just even that we face on the day-to-day. I think what's really important is that continuous education out there, in dispensaries, with our physicians, our medical doctors that are out there, writing these recommendations. And I think it's important to continue spreading that knowledge and setting up events and groups to help spread the word on what's available as a resource and as a product that could provide relief for a lot of people. I think marketing, the rules around marketing in the state of Florida are so restricted that it presents a lot of challenges, from getting out there and getting the information out there. But I think, again, that's something I see changing, over time, and we're getting better at it. But I think until the states really lift the rules and restrictions and recognize what this product really is for people, it's going to have its challenges, but I think we'll keep working through it.
I really thank you very much, Connie, for your time that you've taken out of your day today to interview with HIGHLIFE. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.